to our podcast here at Suncoast CPA Group. We have Brennan with us in the studio today. Brennan, welcome.
Hey, Randy.
How's it going?
It's good. This is one of those podcasts where you didn't have content, so I'm just going to go with Randy Reacts, drag you out in the middle of nowhere, and see how you can handle some content for a few minutes. So
you're just going to spring questions on me, huh? That have not prepared for it all. Going to come out of left field, right field, overhead, from behind, wherever, huh?
I have no horse in this race.
Okay.
But a podcast. That's it.
All right. Well, let's see what we come up with.
Well, I found something that was an interesting article that I think our audience would love to hear your opinion about, and I can chime in too. But it's from businessnewsdaily.com, and it's talking
I hate that website, by the way. No,
you hate
kidding.
that website?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
You've never heard of them.
I'm kidding.
Well, anyways, Business News Daily. It's got 23 great small business ideas to start in 2022, and let's see if you and I can agree. Let's vote.
We'll rank them.
We'll rank them as in like yeah or no. I don't know. We'll find something. Like we'll give a thumbs up, thumbs down. So, number one, it says consulting for 2022. So if you're a knowledgeable and passionate about specific topics like business, social media, marketing, human leader, blah 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 blah. Okay, well, start a business where you can just talk to people about whatever
you want to talk about. Consulting businesses can be great. We have a lot of clients at Suncoast that are consultants, and some do really well, some do not so well. So I think it all depends upon the topic that you want to be consulting on. I think the more, this is a general comment, the more specialized the topic, or the more credentials that you have to be an expert in the field, I think the more successful you're going to be, generally speaking. Being a consultant does give you a lot of flexibility in terms of setting your own schedule, the work you want to do. It does bring some risk with it. When you're a consultant, you have to be constantly hustling for new work and advertising and marketing, depending upon the consulting you're doing. The way you get work varies, but regardless, you don't have that steady paycheck coming in. And if you're the consultant, you're kind of doing everything. You're doing the work, you're managing the work, you're getting the work. So consulting can be very rewarding. It can has its challenges like anything, So I think just to say the question there, be a consultant is there's so many things you can consult on. So I would say for me, I kind of am a consultant, with the different things I do and talk about. So even though I have a staff here at the office that does a lot of work and works with our clients, my time is spent basically consulting, on actually higher end and more complicated, tax matters or real estate or financial services or other topics. So I like consulting, so that's a thumbs up for me.
Same. Actually, a lot of what I do is reviewing data and strategizing and reporting data back. The only time I'm really doing the sweat work is when I'm busting up the cameras. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, I have employees that help me out, help me execute a lot of people were listening to the last podcast. They help me execute the tactics, Yeah, and all the strategies in my consulting. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of I don't know. I think there's a lot of like snake oil starting to sneak into this industry right now for consulting, and I think I really think the cream rises to the top pretty easily here, especially in today's market. If someone's not doing well as a consultant, I mean, it's probably almost a reflection of how good they are at what they do. Because consulting work probably gets referral work pretty easy. Mm-hmm. So people talk about a good consultation. So,
true.
Anything else you want to add to that?
I'm good.
All right, number 2, online reselling. I don't know what start an online reseller business. It sounds like, let me see. You might consider, although it takes time, dedication, and an eye for fashion, you could start your business as a side hustle and turn it into a full-time resale business. It sounds like thrifting.
I've heard of people that go to that buy things online at like discount warehouse kind of stuff, or they go to yard sales or things like that, garage sales, and they buy stuff and they inventory it and sell it online. I think you have to have an eye for being able to know what the consumer is going to want, and what someone's going to buy. Of course, with the World Wide Web, there's so many, anybody from the world could be looking for something that you have. So, pretty much anything that you have there could be a market for it with as easy it is to get their product out there with the web. So, the key is buying it right. And you can make a markup on it.
Know what we should do?
What's that?
Let's just make a reseller business. We'll just drive around on Sunday. We'll
hit yard sales,
all the yard sales, put it all in the back of your truck, and put up a website at the end of the day.
There you go. Break out the cameras. We can videotape it all and video it all, and have like nice pictures on the web and everything.
Yeah,
I think that I wouldn't say. Here again, there's a business out there for everybody, probably.
Yeah.
I think to me that business sounds like it's going to require a lot of work,
passion,
and work. Nothing wrong with hard work, but I would be concerned about the return on my investment, not just my monetary investment, my time in that as well, and then the opportunity cost, which is, I'm doing this reseller business. What am I giving up in time-wise? Like we're doing something else. So
then there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, that's going to be active inventory, like especially if you got like a Google merchant store, that's going to dynamically connect to your website. It's going to get pulled back and forth. It's actually kind of a giant mess if I'm thinking about it. But I imagine a lot of people don't even have a website with this. They're just thrifting and selling it on Marketplace and Facebook. So anyways, interesting. That we didn't give our thumbs up, thumbs down. We did. We both thumbs up in consulting. This one I'm kind of sideways on.
Yeah, I'm actually thumbs down on that.
Your thumbs down?
Yeah.
I think for an entry-level entrepreneur who wants to learn a lot about business, like, try it. But, there's better things out there. So I guess I got to commit to something. So I'm going to go thumbs down. On it.
And here again, just so the audience knows, these are, I'll speak for myself. My opinion about what's good or bad is I'm basing it on things that I would be interested in. So if I was having a conversation with a client sitting across the table, once I got to know about them, I may say, what they're looking to do is going to be good for them based on what they want to do, their skill set, their other factors that would come into play. So I don't want to, if somebody's interested in starting one of these businesses, or I'm not saying, Brendan and I giving a thumbs up or thumbs down is any way a indication of what you should or shouldn't do, but it's something that, for us, if we're giving a thumbs up or thumbs down, it's more or less an indication of what we ourselves personally would look to do. So I'll speak for myself. Do you have anything you want to add to that in terms of a disclaimer?
No, I have a huge, my thumbs down is the end all advice. I'm joking. It's just I'm just looking at it as like, I'm going to look at it from the standpoint of, would this be a good marketing client? So the last one, reselling, absolutely not. Like they're going to spend all their time. Well, no, now I think about it. I mean, I could probably make their job a lot easier if they just went out, got the stuff, brought it back, paid me to take photos and put it on their online to run it. Like, I don't know. Actually, that might make the job worth it for them because all they got to go out and do is buy clothes and hand it over to me, and then I run the rest of it for them. Maybe. Again, I don't know what it looks like. So
yeah, you got to run the numbers to see based on your time what your time is worth.
But would I make one for myself? No.
Yeah.
Would I take them on as a client? Like, yeah. Marketing. Yeah. Anyways, the next one is online teaching. The demand for online education has opened up possibilities for entrepreneurs. So it says a bunch of stuff here, but if you have something to teach and information, apparently selling classes, teaching what you do is very profitable. And actually, I've spoken about very heavily about this, about teaching marketing is something that I definitely want to do. What do you think?
I totally agree. I think I spoke to you one time about wanting to do I still want to do it. I'll say write a book, but instead of writing a book, I'll say speak a book, if you will. That's
an audio book?
An audio. There you go. An audio book.
That's it. I've never heard of those. It's
an audio book. Speak a book, audio book. So it's just kind of So I would I still want to do one of those. I've got kind of a general outline in my head of what I want it to be about. Basically, starting a business and all the things you need to be thinking about, from entity formation to insurance and all these different kinds of things, and go through that. So yes, that's definitely for me. It's a big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up.
That's a 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, actually, let's give it 4.
Yeah, there
4
you go.
thumbs up. Yeah. Cool. Let's move on. So this one,
we got to pick up the pace. It's my fault. I know we're gonna
we'll do 2 parts. Let's do 2 parts.
Okay.
Because this is actually kind of a fun podcast, I think.
And so. I admit I didn't. I was just want to make sure that I know our listeners have a finite time. So I think your idea of making it into a 2-part podcast is a good idea. So
yeah, let's go. I think this is good. So this one is online bookkeeping. I don't even have to read about it. Bookkeeping services to be performed online. So virtual bookkeeper.
Yep, I mean that's what we do here at Sunco CPA Group, and we do virtual bookkeeping for some of our clients. So 2 thumbs. Actually, my thumbs and my arms are both up in the air for that one.
Yeah,
I'm doing it. So
yeah. I mean, 2 thumbs up. It's a no-brainer. Wow, this one's interesting. Medical courier service.
Medical courier service. I know. There is, some. I mean, I don't know how. Just thinking out loud. I know that maybe back in the day when a lot of medical records were not electronic, especially we have X-rays and other kinds, maybe MRIs and that kind of stuff. But I think with more and more of these, everything's digital nowadays. So I just wonder how long term the medical courier business would be. I don't have any idea.
Blood work.
What's that?
Blood work.
Blood work.
Being moved from labs to labs. Not every lab is the same. So
true.
Yeah, I was saying I think there is a lot of like third-party vendors that still interact with like LabCorp and Quest and stuff. So
it depends on what you're carrying. Yeah, to your point. I mean, I'm thinking paper records and charts a no-go, but to your point, live specimens, getting things from point A to point B for timely testing. Yes, that's still is a need, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I mean that one. I mean I don't know. I don't know the red tape and the regulation on that. So from a marketing standpoint, I would give it maybe pending. I got to give it 2 thumbs down to start because I don't know the regulation in the marketing and advertising. So I don't know how to scale a business like that, like fast without like just networking and introductions. So like, I'd be scared to take on a client that does that because I don't initially know the red tape.
I would imagine that with the, there's only a few players in that whole medical laboratory, clinical laboratory type business, and they probably have contracts with courier services. They have their own couriers, and they maybe have their own cars and drivers internally that do the couriering now. So I don't know. I don't know. And there's a lot of things I don't know, but that would be about the potential for that kind of business. But based on what things I've seen change in healthcare, I would say I'm kind of a medium kind of, and here again, it's probably just I need to understand more about the opportunity. But just here again, everything is going digital. I would imagine that LabCorp and Quest, with other big companies, have their own internal drivers that drive the stuff around. And so here again, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It just sounds like there's some challenges with actual amount of work, and then having to competitively compete for the business. If you're trying to get into one of these big clinical laboratory companies, you probably have to be the low-cost provider. So don't know that it's,
when you can't really sell too much value to someone, it all comes down to price. And I'm not really into businesses that are going to just beat the price. Yeah. So the next one here is, what were your thumbs? Where are your thumbs at?
I was sideways.
We got to decide.
I'm going thumbs down.
Thumbs down? Okay, That's where I was. I was like, we got to make a decision now. So app development, this just talks about like smartphones and apps. You got to really know what you're doing. You got to be really good at it, and you got to have the right team and be able to take on the workload. Very competitive marketing aspect, and you're competing with a lot of cheap. Anyone that really knows what they want for software development is going to be on the platforms where they're finding the right people to hire for it. The people who are Googling and looking for app development companies probably don't have a general idea about what their product wants, and they're probably going to be bad clients. That's just my initial reaction. So, like, thumbs up if you understand the proper, architecture of how to develop the product and gauge the expectations of the client, and you can close it at the right cost. But really, it's a thumbs down. I just think it's just too competitive of a market. Honestly.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to have the next app, and like for me, Uber comes to mind as being a great app that kind of revolutionized an industry. In terms of instead of everybody having to call a cab, you just get on your phone and dial up an Uber, or you get Lyft, and so stuff like that. I'm not saying there's no more opportunity for those kind of apps in the future as new. As our needs change as a society, but I think some of those revolutionary apps that came out when smartphones just became popular, not saying there can't be any more, but I'm thinking that that person that wants to hit it big and go public with an app, that I think unless you got some really new and really great idea, you're probably going to have an app that's going to be a knockoff of somebody else's, and you're trying to compete in a very similar space or something like that. So here again, I'm not knocking it, but for me, I would not want to be. I don't know. To your point, highly competitive. That's a thumbs down for me.
Yeah, me too. I think it's just too tricky of an industry. Like you got to have. I think it will take a few rounds before you really know your way to get through that environment. Like you'll have to fail a few app development companies before you have a successful app development company, I think. Next one's transcription service. That's just transcribing video. I mean, actually, I do this.
See, I was thinking medical. I was thinking medical transcription, or even like court transcription, where you have these court reporters that transcribe the. So here again, it could be transcription. Could be.
It does actually. It actually says medical transcription services, healthcare provider dictation, medical transcription. So maybe I was wrong. I don't do this. I just like the white papers say, people don't read. I just skim the headlines.
There you go.
So
I think transcription is especially for someone that wants to work from home, that needs a flexible schedule where they can get, I'll say, a series of documents or get some data that needs to be transcribed at maybe overnight or whatever, and they can work from home. I think there's a lot of people that do court reporting or transcription services, and it's a great job to work from home and work on your own pace. So it's not something I want to do, but it's a thumbs up as something that I'd recommend that people look into, especially if they want a flexible schedule.
What's their ideal client look like?
Medical transcription, it'd be a physician, know, and then if it's court reporting, you get into being in depositions and actually being in the courtroom, and they have those really. It's not a typewriter. It's some weird little machine
I've hired one.
That you're hitting doing these different things, and it's
all shorthand.
It's shorthand. There you go, and it's different in terms of, but hey, it's a quick way to take notes and write down everything that's being said. So
yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm thinking about getting that, how to scale that and get the clients in as someone who's starting the business. So I guess it would. I'm gonna go thumbs up because for the most part, I really think this comes down again to like price per bid. Because you're probably very competitive.
Yep.
So if you're willing to grind and compete with other people's prices, build a loyalty, and kind of scale your price up over time. Like I'll give it 2 thumbs up, but it's definitely goes back to what I think about the reseller in regards to the amount of time they'll go into it to, there really is a grind to that business. Next one's called professional organizing. Looking for a business idea that can really spark joy. Professional organizers help people declutter and minimize for a living. So
it really is a job, huh?
Yeah, it's number 8.
Huh.
So they have a portfolio. They can come into your life and your business and help you organize.
It's everybody. We're all different. We're all unique, and some of us do need help with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people just accumulate clutter. I mean, I know sometimes I get a lot of mail coming in, a lot of incoming, and so I have to take time out of my day and go through and sort through everything that's coming in, so I keep things moving off my desk. And so
minimizing and downsizing is kind of their big goal.
Yeah. So so my decluttering is just basically managing the workload, but other people it's not really managing workload. It's just they need help throwing stuff out, getting rid of clutter in their life, things that they're not using. So clutter and organizing can mean different things, but it can be workflow management. But I think what they're talking about here is helping someone come in someone's workspace and like what can we get rid of in here to create less distractions in the room or the environment. So I think there is somewhat of a need for that. I think making someone aware that they actually have that need can be the challenge. Somebody may they have the need for that can be the challenge, but I think that is a and here again we all get busy, and so especially if we have the space, it's easier just to keep it than it is to get rid of it, because it forces you to evaluate and make a decision. So if you've got someone there that comes in, let's say once a month, that holds you accountable to keep your area, whether it be your home, your work, your whatever it is, your environment you're trying to declutter, that person's coming in, there's time set aside, you're spending money to have them there, so you're going to make sure that you get your money's worth. So I think if you have a problem with clutter, I think there's opportunity there. How big of an opportunity? I don't know.
Sounds like another grind, but where are your thumbs at?
I'm going to go with thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, I think there's some opportunity there. I just think I think that's a bit. It also has to do with I think a lot of personal relationship goes into that. I mean, I think it's I think you're going to be able to, networking is going to be big into getting that into
networking and price point.
Yep.
Maybe a subscription model.
Yep.
That's going to be important. I am thumbs up on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, I don't think it's being searched for. Just assuming the amount of architecture of keywords that people are interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine something like this would need a brand awareness campaign that's going to build the concept in people's mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably 3 to 6 months later, it would take off. And I think I can see someone having a really full calendar in a year. Mm-hmm. But this first 6 months are going to be hard.
Yeah.
So, but I give it a thumbs up if you're willing to work. Next one's cleaning service. I mean, again, I give this one a thumbs up if you are going to be the guy hustling or gal, whatever, whoever's going out there to hustle and do the cleaning. Mm-hmm. Sure, just it's every hour of your life and your subscription, and you got to do the networking and to scale it up. I give it a thumbs down if you are planning on having employees right out of the gate. I think it's going to be very hard to curate and train the proper employees for a business like this.
I'm a thumbs up on that also. I think there's plenty of opportunity out there for a good cleaning service, whether you're residential or commercial. And to your point, employees are going to be hard to find and manage, but it's going to take some time. But over the long term, it can be scaled.
All right, so we're just doing a few more here, and then we'll do the others in another podcast. So the next one, I think we'll do 2 more, and then we'll break into the podcast. Freelance copywriting and content writing. So I guess, this is, again, this is, I'm just double checking, this is something I do for SEO, for page content, for ads, where someone's going to do all the written content. Mm-hmm. It's interesting, freelance copyright and content writing. I mean, I give it 2 thumbs up, but it's just it's a small cog in a very large machine. I feel like you got to do a little bit more, I think, more than just copyright.
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity here. One of the things, as I've done, I'll share a personal experience, as I've had to create a document. You've given me some SEO pages to create for the CPA firm, and then you have this, I'm going to say, a white canvas. And you got, what are you going to start out with, And so sometimes it's just getting started is just hard to do, It's like, where do you start, And so having someone that come in, they can just, they can just start writing something, And sometimes just someone coming in and putting something on paper. I made the comment, it's easier to critique than it is to create. So if someone comes in and just gets something going and gets something to look at, gets your mind flowing, and I think it's certain people I think will function better. Like if you said, hey Randy, I need you to create the content for 5 SEO pages, and it's like, well, how do I get started? So having someone that gives me something to, if I have 5 topics, they write something for me. It may not be technically right, but I can least it's started, and I can go in and critique it and modify it. So,
well, I'm not going to tell exactly the secret sauce that I have for this, but I have a trick for this.
Mm-hmm, I do.
Yeah, and I think, right now, I think we are producing around 10,000 words worth of content a month right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely are.
So, and it's a trick, and it doesn't involve you even having to proofread.
Yep. Better.
Even better, right? So if someone's interested in that, reach out to me at Lesser Media or call Randy, whichever. I give it 2 thumbs up, actually. I think it's good if you're willing to grind again.
I think it is too.
I'm noticing a trend, but this really is 23 small business ideas for a solo operation.
Mm-hmm.
These are very, very much successful if just you.
Yep.
Home care service, so medical for looks like just at home care, elder care, for seniors and anyone in need, I guess.
Yeah, so I think I've got clients that have these little ALFs. They have to be under a certain size here in Florida. I think it's under 4 or 5 patients to avoid having to go through a whole bunch of other regulations. But if you have home health care, it's usually all paid for by the insurance company or Medicare. You have to go through a licensing process, regulatory process, all kinds of oversight from the state and federal government. And so I think what they're talking about there is just more of a freelance basis where you need to go into someone's house and sit with them for a day, take care of them for a day, kind of like not really a nurse, but you're basically kind of like an assistant, but not a medical assistant in terms of being able to give medical care, but just kind of being there. That's what that means to me, if I'm interpreting what you're saying correctly. So, to your point earlier, being it's kind of hard to scale that business, so it's just kind of something that you're doing on your own. You have to network and get familiar with physicians, maybe some home healthcare companies, where they can only come in. They've got a nurse or whatever kind of provider comes in for three days a week, but that customer may need somebody there 8 hours a day to sit with them, while their spouse is at work or while their children are at work and they're older and they can't. They're either they're advanced senior and they're living with a family member, but their family has to work. They need somebody to come and sit with them for 8 hours a day while the house is empty. To me, that's what this is representing, and it's going to be, you're going to have a hard time growing that business because it is very personal, and it could take you a while to grow it because you got to develop all the right relationships, but to get those referrals. So, for me, would I want to do that? Absolutely not. But there's a special place for those special people that do that kind of work. And I taking myself out of the equation, I think there's a big need for it, especially here in Florida. So if someone wants to do that and they can be consistent with staying with someone, big thumbs up from me.
It's from an employer standpoint and risk standpoint, it's a little bit of thumbs down for me. Not for like any empathetic reason, just more of the risk, just the amount of people I know that have been hurt in these industries. I just know it can be dangerous. And scaling it, is going to be tough out of the gate. I don't know how this could ever even be a side hustle. Mm-hmm. It's not like you can moonlight this. Mm-mm. It's gonna be you can't sleep. So like this is a really tough business for someone to take without the idea of losing for a bit. I think for the first 2 quarters to grow. I think at least, but I could be wrong. Yeah. So we can do the other half on our next podcast. Before we go, I have one idea. What do you think? What's a business that you would name that someone could start in 2022? If you need a second to think, I think I have one. Mobile detailing.
Yep, definitely big demand for that, and pretty low barrier cost to entry. Mobile detailing, I would say I think mobile detailing is more profitable definitely than like having a lawn business. I know what the detail guy shows up to detail my truck and what I pay him, and what people get paid to mow grass on a per cut basis. And it's definitely would do mobile detailing over mowing lawns any day of the week for sure, based on the profitability involved. I think it's what's we're say for a solo practitioner, what's a good one to start? So I think mobile detailing is a good one. Some of the ones we brought up in here, they're definitely several, 3 or 4 or 5 of them are definitely good ones if the person has the skill set and likes that kind of work.
Yeah, just pressure washing
good.
too.
Pressure washing, another good one.
Great.
Definitely a good solo practice. So the court reporting or the transcription and the courier service, if you can, I take that back. I think the courier service is going to be kind of tough. I think it's going to be more. I think there may be a lot of contractual things you have to really be
lots of introductions.
Yeah, I think I like the detail business, the mobile detail businesses, and here again as a solo person, that's a consulting. That's you can't go wrong with if you have the skill set. You know what? I was going to say, I'm going to refrain from saying that because there's a lot of people are doing that right now, and so I'm going to refrain from that. I was going to say being a realtor. There's a lot of folks that are realtors now. There's a lot of people that are realtors, and there's a lot of there could be some potential challenges coming to the market here soon. With
it's fair to say there's realtors, but then there's people who are really grinding being a realtor, and then there's other people who are
part time.
Just for the ride, you know what I mean? They got it. There's 300,000 realtors in Florida alone. 300,000. I looked it up. That's the number. That's how many are in Florida. That's insane. That's larger than some counties. A lot of counties. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, I do think realtors are a legit business and entrepreneurship route that people can take. But it's very easy, I think, for people to get kind of lackadaisical about it. So it can be very quickly turned into pretend entrepreneurship. So but I don't know many people personally who are realtors who are kind of just going for the ride.
I think the mobile detailing is a really good business. I like that.
Let's do it. Let's just get started. Well, think of the franchising.
There you go.
I'm just putting you on the spot. Woodruff Detailing.
There you go.
That's it. You'll be thinking about tonight. You're gonna call me tomorrow. Let's start the website.
Hey, let's get some trucks and some trailers and some pressure washers and some chamois and get after it.
Let's get a whole fleet.
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks for joining the podcast, Randy. You want to tell them how to get a hold of you?
Yeah, please give us a call here at Suncoast CPA Group, and or give us. Let me back up.
No, we're so close.
I was so close. I said, please give us a call here at Suncoast CPA. I meant to say, please give us a call at 352-596-2883, or check us out on the web at suncoastcpagroup.com. And again, this was kind of a different kind of a podcast, not really instructional, just kind of a, just impromptu and get to know our thoughts and how we think and something unique and different. So, Brendan, thanks for bringing up the idea first. I was going, we're going to do what? But I actually had a good time doing this, so thank you.